Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds. Lawrence?
So we talked a lot about Marvel this week, and I don't want anybody to think that we're just straight up like Marvel fanboys just stroking Marvel's ego all day. So I mean, you actually kind of challenged me with this one, but we're gonna go ahead and pitch some Batman ideas.
Yep.
You know, we with Ben Affleck helming his own Batman movies. You know, it's interesting. It's an interesting concept, and I want to know, what he's going to bring to the role. Yeah. But I've always thought about a lot of stuff or a lot of different directions that they could go with this new Batman, and I'm really I'm excited, but also terrified to share my thoughts. You wrote one as well, right? You wrote your own pitch?
Yeah, I wrote my own pitch. This doesn't really connect to the
movies?
Yeah, the movies right now. This is just my own story that I would...
How you would do it, like your own standalone Batman
like
story?
if Warner Brothers came up to me and was like, you need to make a Batman movie. You have free range. This is what I would do.
Okay.
So, you wrote yours.
Yeah, I wrote mine a little bit with more of the DCEU in mind. Not like the whole expanded everything, but like, here's my thing. I love Batman. He's one of my favorite superheroes of all time. Probably second to Spider-Man.
Okay.
For me.
He's my favorite. Like, of all, I think he has the best rogues gallery.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I connect with Spider-Man a little bit more, but that's neither here nor there. I love the Batman movies. Most of them, obviously, with the exception of a few. And I feel like the only thing that's really missing is that no one has ever truly gotten into the head of the Bat.
That's what I'm doing, too. That's what I'm doing, too.
Hey, we all think alike.
Yeah, exactly.
It's what we all want.
Exactly. Like, mine is very Batman-focused.
Yeah. Mine is Batman-focused, but coming at it a little bit differently, because what I really wanted to incorporate, because this is like the biggest question I have on my mind, is with the DCEU and them expanding and adding more characters, and especially considering the whole nod to Jason Todd with the battered Robin suit in the Batcave in Batman v Superman. Clearly, we're getting Robin.
Yeah, and I like the fact that it's established already.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So for my story, I'm kind of setting up the Bat family.
Okay, that's cool.
Pretty much, yeah. The whole point of my story is to set up the Bat family realistically on the screen in the DC EU in those movies.
All right.
Granted, like I've always said, the foundation shaky, but here's how I'd like to.
Okay.
Here's how I'd like to do it.
All right, go
ahead. Mine is called Batman Arkham Horror, which I thought would have been a pretty fun title. I was trying to find something...
Horror, not horror, right?
Yes, horror. like a movie.
Not horror.
Yes, no.
Okay, that's all I'm going to say.
Okay, so...
Sorry.
I guess I'll just read mine verbatim, what I wrote. Because it's kind of just like bullet points along the way. I haven't like physically written a whole... It's fine. I'm so nervous.
I'm gonna hold up a fake screen. Go ahead.
Okay, so this takes place.
I can't do that. I'm not doing that.
Okay. So I'm just gonna read what I wrote.
Okay, go ahead.
The Bat has been cleaning up the streets of Gotham for 15 years now. With crime at a low, Bruce Wayne attempts to carry out a normal life, sans the cowl. At the wedding of Wayne and longtime girlfriend Vicky Vale, Vicky is poisoned and killed. Taking credit for the murder of Vicky Vale is a new villain who goes simply by the name Lovecraft.
Lovecraft? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I know.
That's fine.
It ties into the whole Arkham Horror thing. So, he unleashes his army on... he has an army of followers which he unleashes on Gotham that he calls the Horrors. Horrors!
The Horrors, not the Horrors.
The Horrors.
The Horrors.
I have to enunciate that from now on, I guess.
Add the R.
Yeah. He calls them the Horrors. Suffering from the loss of his bride, Bruce is left shattered and broken. He's in no shape to defend the city, especially when confronting Lovecraft, who eggs the bat on, goading him with the devastating trauma of his loss. Lovecraft clearly knows more about Batman than Bruce knows about this new threat. With Bruce battered and disheveled, the battle falls upon Dick Grayson, now going by Nightwing, and the newly minted Robin, Tim Drake.
Okay.
So he's like very fresh on the scene. Like he's only been with Batman for a few months.
That's cool.
Okay.
He's like Winston.
Yeah, kinda. So they're outclassed, outmatched, and clearly outnumbered, even with the Gotham City Police Department on their side. In a large-scale battle/riot between the GCPD and the Horrors, Nightwing and Robin are shrugged off easily by Lovecraft. Lovecraft, having now taken Commissioner Gordon as a prisoner of war, has issued a statement that he will be taking the head of the Commissioner if not faced with a real challenge. You know, the Batman, essentially. Thus, lighting a fire under Barbara Gordon's ass and promoting her to seek out Batman and learn his secret identity. So it's setting up Barbara Gordon too.
Okay. And she's a police officer in this.
No.
Okay.
I mean, like, she works... It's kind of like how... I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't put her as a police officer. More like... like a consultant.
Okay, as long as she's not Alfred's niece.
No, fuck no. God, no.
Okay.
Honestly, I was... Because I killed off Vicky Vale... Because I wanted to kill off somebody important to Batman, but not too integral to the plot.
Right.
For the longest time, it was going to be Alfred that got killed.
Oh, no.
For the longest time, I really had my heart set on killing Alfred, but I was like, no, he's too important.
Oh,
but
no.
That's neither here nor there. Where was I?
I guess you'll cancel the pizzas. All right, that's enough with that movie. I'm sorry.
So... Batman, coming to terms with his loss and vowing to never lose another ever again, realizes that he can never truly have a normal life. That it is truly Bruce Wayne that is the facade, and in the final face-off with Lovecraft and his horrors, Batman, Nightwing, and Robin, with the aid of Barbara from the Batcave, must take a stand to defend their city.
Okay.
In a one-on-one showdown between Bats and Lovecraft, before the eyes of the city, Batman is berated by the villain, who brings up some very good points. So here's kind of the monologue that I had written. Batman is just as bad as the villains he faces off against. Maybe even worse. He preys on the fears of his victims. He employs children to fight a war that isn't theirs. He's the catalyst in creating the horrors that befall this city. Open your eyes, people. Batman doesn't want to end crime. He thrives off it. He could have easily seen me coming from a mile away at the wedding of Bruce Wayne and Vicky Vale. They're the two biggest names in the city. But that wasn't his MO. Batman doesn't operate during the daylight hours. Your Dark Knight needs the ire of shadows to make his moves, but I'm here to bring him to the light. And as soon as he gets to that, Batman just decks him straight in the face and puts him away. So with one punch, Lovecraft is taken down, but the seed has already been sown. Although defeated, Lovecraft has succeeded in raising doubt. So, at this point, you know, it's been a little while since the showdown, because this is like the end, I guess. Alright, so Nightwing takes his crime fighting to Bloodhaven. Robin and newcomer to the team, Batgirl, you know, they can't help but wonder if they're just blindly following their idol. The Gotham City Police Department have severed their ties with the Bat. The citizens of Gotham now wonder, do we really need the Batman? In a final scene, we see Batman dragging Lovecraft down the hall of Arkham Asylum, passing the cells of defeated foes like the Riddler, Mr. Freeze, Two-Face, the Joker, and as he reaches the glass pane of the cell door, we can see Batman's face reflected in the glass, portraying him inside the padded cell.
Nice.
And then I have, like, you know, it would just cut to black at that point in credits, and I actually wrote, like, a little end credit scene.
Sure.
So... At the end, it turns out that there was actually somebody pulling the strings behind Lovecraft's plot, and the camera pans up to reveal the Red Hood, which would be the next movie in, like, the...
Nice. So that's Jason Todd?
Yeah.
Nice.
So it sets up the Bat family. I was like, I feel like it kind of gets into, you know, into the head of the character a bit, and shows that Batman can be just as fucked up as his villains. So, I don't know. I like that. I thought it was... I had fun writing it.
No, it sounds awesome, man.
Thank you.
It sounds really awesome. I like that.
I really want to hear yours though, and then I guess we can talk about him afterwards.
Whew. So this is my pitch. I didn't write basically a beginning, middle, and end like you did. Mm-hmm. This is just an intro, just to grab people's attention.
Okay.
I do have an idea of the direction I want to go. So this is going to be more of an isolated Batman story.
Okay.
Okay? All right, so my Batman pitch is called Batman Nightmare Sky.
That's a good name.
Thank you. All right, so Bruce Wayne is in control, and Batman is in control. It's a cold winter night in Gotham. Snow has covered everything. Every night there is action. One night he deals with Penguin. One night he deals with Firefly. One night it's Victor Zsasz. Being the Bat is second nature to him now. In fact, Batman's real mask is the face of Bruce Wayne. On this cold, crime-free night, Bruce is sitting in a chair, just thinking. Thinking in the dark. Thinking and eagerly waiting to grasp his cowl. He's addicted to it. A light hits the room, lighting everything up. It's the bat signal. A small grin grows on the face of Gotham's favorite son. Zooming out in the Batmobile, Batman reaches to Jim Gordon. Gordon tells Batman about multiple storefront explosions. It turns out Firefly has escaped from Arkham. Batman catches Firefly very easily and takes him to Arkham. After locking him up, Batman witnesses an inmate jumping on another inmate, biting and clawing at each other. He easily breaks it up. All of a sudden, a guard jumps on another guard. Then a swarm of inmates are running down the hall, destroying everything in sight. It's a mix of guards and inmates fighting. Batman grapples up to avoid danger and tries to make sense of what is going on. Batman then tries to get some communication with either the Oracle or Alfred. Nobody is answering. All of a sudden, Arkham's walls are cracking, and the inmates and guards turn into dust. We are now in a courthouse, standing in front of Harvey Dent, with a fully healed face. And he utters the words, "Why, Bruce? Why couldn't you save me?" He repeats this in a more raspier voice, and as he repeats it, his face returns to its hideous form that he's known for. The courtroom turns to ash and we are at a circus now. Dick Grayson's family is laying dead on a circus floor, uttering, "Why didn't you save us?" Batman screams, "I tried. I tried." The circus turns to ash, and we are now at the old apartment of Barbara Gordon. Barbara lays there with a bullet in her stomach and back, just uttering, "Why couldn't you save me?" Batman says again, I tried. Now that turns to ash, and we are at Crime Alley, where his parents died, where he experienced the worst night of his life. There lying Thomas and Martha Wayne in the flesh. Bruce holds his parents with tears rolling down his face and lets out a loud, angry scream. "I tried." A man's shadow becomes part of Crime Alley. Batman looks up and it's Joe Chill. Joe Chill was the person who killed his parents. Batman takes down Joe Chill, beating him to a bloody pulp, breaking his nose, cheekbones, realizing Joe Chill is not talking, but mumbling to these attacks. He then Joe Chill starts to change physically. Long black hair grows, then a familiar shape. The shape of Nightwing's mask forms on Chill's face. Chill then turns into Dick Grayson, Nightwing. And then the surroundings go back to normal. He's back at Arkham, and Nightwing is laying there, beaten to fucking death. So Batman screams, he just screams out his name, "Dick! What did I do?" Dick is not breathing, so Batman takes the tape off his face and unties him. Holding his broken body, practically 95% dead, the monitor in the room grows into a staticky mess. A disfigured mask appears on the screen and says, Batman, The Dark Knight, Gotham's Hope. I know what breaks you. I know the very roots of your fear. Nightwing was the first. You will be destroyed from the inside. This is your fear. You are trapped in here with me, and we have only just begun. He lets out a laugh and then finishes off with, this Batman is your nightmare. The villain is Scarecrow.
Okay.
So that's the end of my pitch. So my film would be very reminiscent to The Raid, Batman Arkham Asylum, and I figured with the Scarecrow involved, he can be in and out of reality, and it can be very Nightmare on Elm Street-like.
I was trying to when I first started coming up with ideas and like writing stuff, I was trying to think of how to incorporate something like that.
Yeah.
But not that I couldn't do it, but like the more I thought about it, I was just like, I want what do I want?
Yeah.
So I wrote a story that I wanted as opposed to like something that, you know, not that people would come to expect, because I'm not saying people would come to expect that, but it's like I wanted to tell a more. We both told personal stories to Batman,
Right.
But we attacked them from very different angles.
Yeah, I thought that was good. I thought that was very, very good. I liked yours, man. I liked setting up the whole Bat family. I thought that was cool.
Dude, like, that's all I want to see on screen. I'm not saying, like, I know Batman. I've seen Batman in so many different forms at this point, and a big part of what makes Batman who he is the fact that, yes, he's fucking, he can be fucking nuts. He's fucking broken in way more ways than one.
Right.
But what kind of helps him and gets him through all this is that he has surrounded himself with, albeit as fucked up and broken as they are, he has surrounded himself with a family, people who understand his struggle. And I want to see that on the screen. I want to see Batman connecting with someone. They tried to do it with Catwoman in The Dark Knight Rises, kind of, but I feel like that didn't really work. So
I did not like Anne Hathaway as Catwoman.
Nope.
I did not. That was
not a bad actress, but she just wasn't right for the role.
I know the movie isn't perfect, but that to me was really bad casting. I took what I did is I took inspiration from obviously The Raid, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Asylum, because he is stuck in the asylum, and that's the whole point. So it's basically...
Dude, I really like yours, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like yours.
Yeah.
Like, I wish that I could write that way. Like, you know, just seamlessly going in and out of, like, traumatic experiences like that. Like,
yeah.
Like I said, I feel like you get more into the head... When we first talked about what we were writing before we actually read them today, I feel like... You know, I told you, I feel like you get more into the head of the character, whereas, like, I understand the atmosphere, but for me, it's more so about, you know, not necessarily the outsider looking in, but I work better with surrounding the character with a story arc as opposed to making the story internal.
Yeah, I mean... I just, another thing I wanted to is, I wanted to give other villains a spotlight. Don't get me wrong, the Joker is, I'm always stuck between Vader and him, but the Joker is the best villain of all time.
Yeah.
And I just figured, you know, why not give somebody else the spotlight? Like, I like the fact that you made a new villain.
Yeah.
I always liked that.
That was what kind of stopped me when I was trying to write, you know, a story similar to yours. Yeah. Is because I was like, I really want Scarecrow to be the villain in a movie, but he's been in all three of the Dark Knight trilogy movies.
Yeah, well, I made him the main, because my thing is this wouldn't be a Scarecrow origin story. The fact that he's a doctor and he has access to Arkham Asylum is the reason why he took it over. Okay. That's the angle I was going at. But like I said, like the Joker is he's the best villain of all time, and I think that, you know, it's good to give other people the spotlight. Like, a real disappointment for me was Batman Arkham Knight.
Okay.
Spoilers if you haven't played or if you're interested in playing it, but Arkham Knight was Jason Todd.
Yeah. And
It
I
was
saw
so
that shit coming
disappointing.
from so fucking far.
As soon as he opened up his mouth and called him old man, I went, "It's Jason fucking Todd."
Yeah.
And then they showed his death, like, his, I'll put it in quotations, his death.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, okay, so he's really Jason Todd. And it was, besides it being a tank simulator, I don't want to get technical with the video game, but it was just disappointing in that fact, because you're going to advertise a new villain into the Batman lore.
Yeah, and
why
that
not
was
make it
kinda-
new?
And that was when I was thinking about it, and I was trying to come up with like my story, because I had a really hard time initially coming up with a concept for my pitch, and then it kind of hit me because I was really thinking of, like I said, I was trying to do Scarecrow first, and then I was really thinking about Arkham Knight, and I was like, they said that they were introducing a new villain, and I was like, but it just turned out to be Jason Todd. So what I did is I kind of took that idea and actually put a new villain in there backed by Jason Todd.
Yeah, that makes sense.
As opposed to, because, you feel like because he knows a lot about Batman, maybe people would get the impression that it might be Jason Todd.
Mm-hmm.
But Lovecraft was really he was just a means to an end.
Okay.
For Batman to be antagonized on a personal level by taking from him, any idea or any inkling that he could have a normal life. So I made up a new villain. I wanted to come up with like kind of not like creepy, but like a darker tone.
Yeah.
And so I just went with H.P. Lovecraft. So I was like, well, there's Arkham Asylum, which is based on the whole Arkham from Lovecraft. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just name the villain Lovecraft.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And
really
I didn't
make
really
sense.
give him much of a motivation because I like, characters, not characters, but villains. I don't feel like villains always need to have, I don't need backstory to a villain. I don't need like a whole setup. I don't need the villain to be personal to the hero, because I feel like that's such a cop out in so many ways to make it somebody that the hero knows. Why not make it an unstoppable force that the hero never even saw coming?
I just try to give the character of Batman a challenge, because in my story he's obviously never met Scarecrow. Originally, I was gonna put the Riddler and Scarecrow working together, but I didn't want to lose focus, because I was gonna have the Riddler and Scarecrow working together, but I didn't. I feel like if you just have like from my thing, if you I have Firefly in there, Victor Zsasz, I wouldn't call them F characters, but I'd say like they're like C characters,
right.
Like C grade characters. Oh shit that he can do. Like, oh okay, yeah, this is easy. This is easy.
Just another walk in the park.
Yeah, just another walk in the park. I wanted one main villain,
right,
with one goal, and that was because basically the Scarecrow in my story is a bit jealous that not jealous in the fact that he feels, well, yeah, he does feel entitled, but he's jealous that Batman is spreading all this fear, and he's like, no, I want to be the person spreading the fear. That's
actually really good.
Yeah, that's what I came up with it yesterday. It was pretty I had some free time, so I thought it was a pretty good idea to just write it down and see what I can come up with. Because I think that an isolated Batman story is something we've never seen before. Kind of like I don't mean to sound like I don't mean for it to be a ripoff, but Dredd was another inspiration too. It's very enclosed. He's in and out of the toxin, so you can have him fighting regular inmates. You can have him fighting
well-established villains as well.
Well, I wasn't gonna go that far because I don't want to make any of the villains seem weak.
Right.
So I was thinking like maybe like in Arkham Asylum, like, he can fight like skeletons or something.
Okay.
Something really obscure. Like I really wanted it to be like a very dreamy, like in and out. Like you don't know what's real and what's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I do really like. Honestly, I like yours a little bit more than mine. But
I
the
like
only
yours.
the only thing that I really want to say about mine at the because I'm pretty much done talking about mine because I get all awkward when I talk about my own shit. But like, I thought, and this was just, I didn't pick those these villains that you see at the end, like when he's dragging Lovecraft down the halls of Arkham. I didn't pick them like randomly. I actually picked them for good reason. They all symbolize something. Bigger.
You picked
So it's
Two-Face.
So it's Riddler, Mr. Freeze, Two-Face, and then obviously the Joker at the end. So Riddler he symbolizes Batman's obsession. The fact that he can't, put the cowl down, because just like how Riddler can't help but leave clues for, someone to figure out his crimes.
That's such a good villain, but it's so I'm not calling the Riddler stupid, but that's such a like, you really fuck yourself.
Yeah. And then I also put Mr. Freeze in there because it represents, a man fighting for what he loves.
Yeah. His wife Nora.
Right. And then Two-Face obviously shows the opposite side of that coin, how Batman could have turned out had things gone a little bit differently. So he represents, like, the broken man.
Two-Face is actually my... sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
but Two-Face is actually my second favorite villain in the Batman Rogues Gallery. Probably in my top 5 villains of all time, simply because he was a friend. And my favorite interpretation is from the animated series.
Oh, yeah.
I love the split personality thing.
That shit was so cool.
And then once he got burned... Or like the acid, or I forgot.
It was acid.
Oh no, it was explosion. It was an explosion
right.
It was in the cartoon. When that happened, and that just turned him. I was like, okay, like this is great. Like he was starting off, and then it just took that.
Yeah, this is pretty much my top 5 with the exception of the Scarecrow.
Okay.
And then I put the Joker in there, just to have that face, but also because the Joker just goes to show Batman's work is never done. And then, him being reflected in the cell, like in the glass pane of the cell, it just goes to show, like, shit, Batman's just as fucking
he's
nuts
crazy.
as all of them.
He's crazy.
And he could be in here at any moment.
He's crazy.
So,
for instance...
I had a lot of fun with that part.
For instance, when my story, my pitch, I mentioned that he's crazy, too, because he's sitting there...
And he's just waiting
He's just waiting.
Go.
He's just waiting to be called.
Yeah,
I took that. I'm not gonna lie.
I tried to stay quiet during yours, but I don't know if you could hear it. But like when you said that he got a grin when the bat signal went off, I was like, that was good. That's really good.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I stole that from Batman Returns. I kind of did.
Yeah.
Actually, I did. Yeah, I stole that from Batman. What are you gonna do? It's a good scene.
It is. That was what I was gonna say. Like I feel like a lot of the people who make the Batman movies, they don't get too into the head of Batman and Bruce Wayne, like the character, but I would say Tim Burton got the closest. Like getting into the head of the character and really showing that like Batman is as crazy as his villains. I would say Tim Burton definitely got the closest, in my opinion.
Well, Michael Keaton.
That's why he's my sorry.
No,
that's why Michael Keaton's my favorite Batman.
Because you don't expect him.
Exactly.
That's what makes it perfect. You don't expect him to. You just don't expect like even
he was Mr. Mom.
Exactly.
So like nobody.
And before the internet exists, everybody was bitching about him.
Exactly.
But what I like is that he kind of plays a ditz.
Yeah.
A little bit of a ditz, like when Vicky Vale comes up to him and he goes, "Do you know where Bruce Wayne is?" And he goes, "I don't know." Like that's something a nervous wreck would say.
Yeah.
And then later on, it's like, "Are you sure this time?" It's like, "Yeah, sure." Like, and then when he puts on the outfit, I'm not gonna kill you. Like, like that's.
It just shows the duality of the character.
A little fun fact: did you know that the original line I'm Batman. It was supposed to be I'm Batman, motherfucker.
Really?
Did you know that?
Oh my! That would be like it would never happen in a million years now. But like
they would have gotten away with it too.
Yeah, back then
in a PG-13.
Yeah,
they would have gotten away with it.
That would have been cool.
I mean, yeah. Who the fuck am I kidding? Yeah, that would have been awesome. I'm thinking about it. Like, do I like Batman when he curses? I don't care.
Yeah, but we're getting off topic.
Yeah.
Let us know what you guys think, because honestly...
Give us your own pitch. How about that?
I want to know what people think about ours, but I also want to know how other people would execute their own Batman story or movie. So, just leave a comment, because I really am interested.
Yeah, and I was thinking, too, like, we don't have to stop at this with Batman. We can talk about pretty much anybody and do this.
Yeah, we could...
This could be like a thing. But yeah, just give us your impressions, give us your... impressions or opinions on ours. Give us yours. Like, who's your favorite villain?
Yeah.
Just whatever you like about Batman, put below. And don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, obviously.
And share with your friends.
Yeah.
That'd be great. All right.
Thank you, guys.